So PlayStation just unveiled the final design for the PlayStation 5 controller. In today's video, we are going to discuss some of the features we learned today and its design. Let's talk about it. The new design of the PS5 controller has left some gamers feeling a little bit skeptical about the new look, with many gamers comparing it to either an Xbox controller or simply judging it based on its color. Really, guys? Let's not forget that the PS4 controller has a different variation of colors, and I will expect them to release a lineup of controllers after launch with a diverse selection of themes, much like the PlayStation 4. It does bring up the question though, will the PS5 console itself be white instead of the iconic black that PlayStation sticks by? I personally can't see them getting rid of the black design, and for all we know, because this is the only color scheme that they have shown for the system, it doesn't necessarily mean that this will be the only color at launch. So just keep that in mind, but also keep in mind that PlayStation knows that they are making a departure from their previous designs, and this is something that they themselves have decided upon. Like I mentioned before, the design for the PlayStation 5 controller is a bit different from the previous lineup of controllers from the past. Instead of the controller being black, it is now white. The only black parts of the controller are the triggers and the bottom of the controller where the thumbsticks are. The new PlayStation controller will also have the LED light bar surrounding the touchpad now, instead of on top of it like the PlayStation 4 controller did, which is supposed to give off a larger look to it. If you ask me my personal thoughts on the design of the controller, I necessarily don't think that it's fantastic, but I also don't think it is bad. While I personally much prefer the iconic black look that PlayStation usually goes by with their controllers, I don't really mind the white, and personally all I'm really interested in is the innovation of the controller itself. So let's discuss some of its features. Built-in microphone. You heard that right, apparently the PlayStation 5 controller will have a built-in microphone within it, so just about anyone can talk with their friends. Now, of course, I'm not expecting this controller's built-in microphone to sound that great as opposed to, well, most of your gaming headsets that you already own out there, but I can at least appreciate the fact that PlayStation is thinking about their fan base and giving players the option to chat with just about anyone, even if they don't have a microphone. Battery life. The battery life of the PlayStation 5 controller isn't exactly stated, but what Sony has revealed to us is that the controller will support rechargeable batteries. It will also be able to be charged through a USB-C port. Haptic feedback. So this is probably one of the most interesting aspects of the PlayStation 5 controller that we have learned about so far. If you are not sure what haptic feedback is, let me give you a little rundown. Remember the PlayStation 4's rumble function? During certain in-game events, the controller would vibrate as such. This was essentially to give players a more immersive way of feeling when playing their games, but this wasn't exactly fine-tuned. Thanks to the haptic feedback function, however, the PlayStation 5 controller will be able to give players a much more deeper sense of immersion when playing games, as haptic feedback simulates touch, meaning the controller will output vibrations, sounds, or movements to replicate a real-life touch experience. Personally, I'm interested to test this controller out for myself for the haptic feedback alone, and curious how this feature will be handled in future games. The Create button. The share button from the PlayStation 4 controller has now been replaced, and with the PS5 controller comes a different button called the Create button. Not much has been revealed when it comes down to the use of this button for players, but PlayStation did mention that more news on its capabilities will be announced later this year. For now, we do know that the Create button will at least allow players to create gaming moments in the same vein as the PlayStation 4's share button, but as for the rest, we're just gonna have to wait and see. Adaptive triggers. PlayStation has incorporated the use of adaptive triggers within the controller's L2 and R2 buttons, so you can actually feel the tension of your actions while playing. PlayStation describes such an example like when drawing a bow to shoot an arrow. Lastly, PlayStation's new controller will be called the DualSense and not the DualShock. This is a brand new controller that will be taking some things that made the PlayStation 4's controller so great and will be adding a bunch more features that are waiting to be revealed within the coming months. As the name suggests, PlayStation's goal this time is to immerse gamers with the sense of touch. Their overall goal this time around is to make players feel like they are being transported to another world, as if the controller is an extension of yourself. While this is a little bit of a cheeky thing to say, I personally am looking forward to the new innovations that that the PlayStation 5 will bring, and I am excited to learn more about what other features will be offered with the controller and the system itself. Speaking of the system, when exactly are we going to hear about that? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, what you personally thought of the design of the controller, PlayStation's new goal for this generation, and also what do you think about some of its new features. As we learn more within the coming months, I'll be here bringing you all the news for the PlayStation 5. So if you don't want to miss out, subscribe to Social Respawn. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.